MUS 404, Friday, 23rd of September. Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Tyler. Nope. Brian. Olivia. Aaron. Frederick.
Oh.
Adrian. Kindre. TJ. Ixnan, come to class A, huh? Okay. I just loaded some stuff into Dropbox for us to use today, but it might take a minute. Status connected, that seems good. Looks like they added all of it super quick. That was pretty cool. Okay, I have a Dropbox file on this. It's called Music Technology or something. USA Recording Tech. And I can share stuff. I shared a piece called something 21 grams, but what I want to do, I'm going to put it onto our Lacey. And then I'll take it out of recording technology later on. CJ. Okay. So what I want to show you is, it's not a full song, but it's a fully mixed song of which I have the stems for. And I don't want to even judge the quality of it or anything like that. Just want to put it together step by step as if you had already. This is just bumming me out. Sorry, Tyler. Sit back here with Olivia, all right? Okay. We should just do this with the security camera video. Yes, I have used that before, but not for... Also, Brian had some questions today, and he also wanted to do some recording today after class, so I thought we would save the last 15-20 minutes of class to get him all set up, do a sound check, decide. He's probably going to use that keyboard, but we could also discover if maybe this clavinova would work for this situation. Now, here's the thing. If you touch any of the instruments in here, you have to really be clear on getting it back to the way it is when you leave, because we have classes in here every day, and they have little potential to fix anything, all right? They break always, but fix never. So we routinely maintain this room. Like, I moved all 9 of these pianos in here this week with my assistant. And I'm pretty darn sore for the efforts, as you can see. I'm not really built for moving. I'm built more for lazy boy watching reruns on the TV. That's what I'm built for. Okay, but first, let's open a Pro Tools session completely empty. All right? And I'm not exactly sure. Oh, there's a README. I'm gonna, when I import these, I've got overheads, drum room, bass, electric guitar 1 and 2, Hammond, lead Vox DT, I'm not sure what that means, backing Vox, kick and snare. So it's not a super complicated thing, but as you can see, there's pretty many things in there. So I'm going to see the README, and what do you think I want to know before I start doing this? One, I want to know the tempo so I can think about lining it up as tempo, and maybe anything else they got to say. Raw multi-track excerpt from Colton Benjamin's 21 grams. I don't know what that refers to. This file is provided for educational purposes only, and the material contained in, well, that's, here we are, last line, 93 BPM. That means beats per minute. Okay? 93 beats per minute. So what do you think the most important thing is when you're importing, what is important about importing stems or audio in general?
Knowing the tempo.
Well, that's one thing, but as you bring them in, what's super important, we've taken these stems from another mix, right? That's right. They must all be aligned exactly, or you kind of messed up. It's not going to work.
So before you said before you import it, they have to be lined up, right?
No. When you import them, you have to make sure they're lined up.
Okay.
So we're going to look at the different ways that you can import things into Pro Tools. The other thing is, what are the stems' native stuff? So what do I mean by that? Well, there's 12 WAV files that are at 24-bit 44.1K resolution. Now, CD is 16-bit. But that's okay, we're just working in the digital world now. So 24-bit gives you a little more headroom for your volume. Okay, it's like you're working with a bigger tape because you can write more numbers. That's what you do with more bits, more numbers to be written. So I'm going to open just a blank file, but I'm going to make sure that the resolution is 2444.1. Now, I don't want to create from template, so I'm going to X off that, and we'll name this 21 grams. And we'll create it. Oh, I didn't check the bit rate. Dog first. No problem. You know what we're going to do? We're going to quit Pro Tools and delete the file we just made. And start over.
Who made this?
A guy named Colton Benjamin or Benjamin Colton. I don't know. I got it off the intranet. I dialed up, said, give me some stuff. And it delivered. I had to sort through the stuff that wasn't giving me anything. that was wanting me to buy something. But I persisted, and I was rewarded with 21 grams. There's actually quite a few files up there. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm not going to set up any of my other stuff. I'm going to import. So, import audio. I'm going to back out of this just for a second. I'm going to go back to my Lacey and undo this and just move it into the 21 grams folder, and then watch this. I'm going to take all these files and cut them and put them into the audio files. You don't have to do all this. I wish that would have worked better. Okay. I won't cut, I'll copy. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the audio files. All right, so now, you probably don't know why I did that. That's okay. I'm going to File, Import, Audio, and there's my audio files right there. I think. Now that's in the wrong folder. Sorry, my bad. There's 21 grams, and there's my audio files. And now I can just select all of these, and then I don't need to copy them because they're already in the audio folder. So all I need to do is hit Add All, and there they are over there, and then I'm done. Now, Pro Tools is going to ask me a question. Do I want to import these as new tracks or as a clip list? Now, the clip list will appear. Well, there's nothing in there. As soon as, I'm not going to do clip list. I'm going to do new track because we don't have any tracks anyway. So I'm going to hit OK. And then you see them over here line up in the tracks. But now I can click this button down here and you can see the clips. Now if I wanted to add one of these again, I could just click and drag to where I wanted to do it. So if I'm importing everything at the same time in the same place, I would import them all as tracks. If I'm just importing a bunch of audio that I'm going to place specific places, I would import them as clips and then drag them to where I want them. Yes?
And you said you're going to do that. Can you only do that from Dropbox? Can you do it from another?
No, I just put it in Dropbox to get it from my office to this office.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I would have put it on my USB drive, but I lost it. So, if you see it. All right. Now, some of these are stereo and some of these are mono. What would most likely be stereo is the drum room, where they're putting two mics over the whole drum set. Now, another thing, the Hammond is apparently stereo, and that's it. Now, we're going to change the tempo to 93 BPM. All right, we may or may not use that. Okay? It just depends on several things. Now, right now, I can't see everything that I want to see, so I'm going to option click the bar there and make it mini, so now I can see everything that I've got there. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is put my cursor right to the beginning and then expand my view. Now maybe just look at it a little bigger. What I'm looking for is everything coming in right on, is anything looking like it's on the beat? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure how helpful this is going to be. So I'm putting my option key down and just scrolling, and since this is an Apple mouse, it scrolls opposite of the PC mouse, so it's kind of... Now, I don't really see much information there, so I'm going to click this right here, the audio zoom in, just to see. That doesn't change the sound at all. But I think the first thing we should do is just listen to it with the stems and just kind of decide what we need to do. And this is just a short excerpt.
Someone sure.
Okay. Okay. Sounds pretty terrible. But that doesn't mean they're playing bad or anything like that. We just need to make it not be terrible. That's your first job as an engineer. Let's make it not terrible. All right, so let's start soloing stuff. So that's your rhythm guitar.
Are you changing the guitar?
Yeah, there's two guitars doing essentially the same thing. Here's the first. Here's the second. Less accented, less chickadee-chockadee. And when you play them together, you can't hear the second one. So, if you're mixing it like that, it's kind of pointless to mix. So, let's just mute that second guitar and just do the one guitar and the bass. Now you want to have a nice clear bass. And really what makes it clear is the overtones of the bass, but a lot of times those overtones of the bass will get mixed in with the other stuff, so that may or may not be so good. Now what I'm going to do is just do...
Oh, you don't want things on clash, like
Say what?
clash.
Well, it just gets all the same a lot of amplitude in the same frequency of sound. Say somewhere around the 1,000 hertz range or something, and it just gets really muddy or some word like that. It has a not sound good quality to it.
It got this in his bones, got this in his cellular, muscular, challenging brain to come up. It rests this in his brain, rests this in his criminal rendezvous. Swing will remain toxic.
Sick! Listen to it like that. It sounds pretty good. I mean, it seems like they did an okay job at that. But when you listen to the singers with the mix, it's crapville. Now, to me, I think a lot of modern mixes put too much over the vocals. You can't really hear the vocals, and I'm just not crazy about that kind of mix, but that's the way it is. So we can do that. Now let's do just the kick and the snare, let's just do the overheads and the singers. So why are we doing it like this? Just to find out what we have here, what we could do with it.
He got this in his bones, got this in his cellular, muscular, challenging brain to come up. He rests this in his brain, rests this in his criminal rendezvous. Swing will remain toxic.
That was just the overheads. That sounded really soft, didn't it? Because it's just the overheads. Let's just do the drum room. Now let's just only hear the overheads. Let's hear exactly what's there. Okay, let's see how that differs from the drums room. Certainly brighter. Now if you play them together, I'm not sure what the point is. Because you just hear the drum room. Now, let's take the overheads out and just add the snare and the kick. We may not really need we may not need them because the drum room mics were pretty good. I think we should at least put some kind of gnarly something on the kick drum. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Because if not, we're going to have to drop the class. Doesn't really seem fair. Well, let's try the BF-76. We'll do the pump. Maybe not what I wanted, but not bad. I mean, you know. Red 3 compressor. What we're looking for is a drum kick preset. That's always a good place to start, is a preset. Now, I don't, as I maybe mentioned, I don't really like to compress the whole thing until I've bounced it down to a stereo mix. So when I have some headroom, and then after I completely mix it, then I'll compress it to get to some kind of radio standard or something like that, which is really changing these days because of Apple, iTunes, and stuff like that. But I'm not really knowledgeable enough about that to say anything about it. Okay, now, so I just want to listen to my drum kick. That's with the compressor, without the compressor. Try it again, without. Excuse me, this is without. And this is with. I'm going to pretend like it sounds different just for the
It
sake of
sounds louder.
It sound like this. I get you.
Okay. We could put one on the snares too, couldn't we? Yes, we could. I'm going to copy, let's see, option this right over there. So when I do that, I should have the same one. But I'm going to change it to drum snare. So let's just hear those two things with compression. Now, really, we're not going to have any cymbals without the drum room or the let's see if we had a, this would be fine. Okay, we're going to skip the overheads and go with the drum room. That should match it pretty good. Okay, now we're going to add the bass. Now, I'm feeling it that our bass needs, that's right, some compression. And we just drag that over there and go with, that's probably electric bass, don't you think? Yeah, it's probably already compressed. Now, because this other guitar part was so shabby, I'm going to go to my audio suite and normalize it to get that volume up. So now it looks real big, right? So we'll add those two bad boys in. Now we're going to see if the Hammond really adds anything. Now we can't hear it. So we're going to normalize it. Shut up. We're going to normalize it. Maybe to -3 instead of 0 dB. Singing thing's gonna sound crap being that dry. So we want to undry it. And what I'm going to do is add an aux. Create that aux and put in some reverb. I'm not gonna futz with it too much, just right this second. And now I'm gonna create a send bus from my vocalist. And I'm gonna bring this up to send it to the aux, maybe not so much. And then I'm going to copy them over with the same settings to all of the things. Now I think what I'm going to do is turn this off and then just mute the stuff. And then I'm going to add a master fader just to see where I am with volume, you know, see if I'm peaking everything, just peaking it. So I want to set my reverb to not too much. No, this sounds too loud, doesn't it? Yep. So I'll just fade it a little bit because I don't want to mess with it too much exactly. And the Hammond did get kind of loud once I did all that stuff. All right, just a quick and dirty see if that's going to work. Now, did we hear the reverb or did we not? Oh, we did not because we did not put the reverb into the aux track. Now we'll hear the reverb. You got this in his home. You got this in his saddle. Muscular. That's not nearly enough. What were you thinking? You got this in his home. You got this in his saddle. Muscular. There we go. Okay. Gonna check my. I think this is too low. I'm just gonna boost it up a little bit, and then recopy these over like that, so you don't have to adjust them all. You got this in his home. You got this in his saddle. Muscular, challenging brain. He rests this in his brain. Rests this in his screaming over the fool. Strength will remain toxic. He got this in his home. He got this in his saddle. Muscular, challenging brain. Now what I'm going to do instead of that is just pull the air reverb over to the master and just apply it all to all the instruments. And that'd probably be a little too heavy, but just to get the idea. You got this in his home. You got this in his saddle. That's way too much for the drums. So let's pull it back over here. You got this in his home. You got this in his saddle. Muscular, challenging brain. He rests this in his brain. Rests this in his screaming over the fool. Strength will remain toxic. Okay. With that said, I would probably spend, even on that little bit, another hour or so on this. But this is why I don't do it, because I would get tired of the tune before that happened. So anyway, that's what you want to do with your own work, and certainly with my own work, I certainly mix it that hard, and if I'm getting paid, I certainly mix it that hard. And now let's take a couple minutes to see what we want to do to get Brian situated for his party.
Do you know what he's saying?
It's got it in a tongue, and in a dungeon of chocolate. That's me with reverb, by the way.
I thought you said something like California for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, there's pretty many options on this thing. You kind of gotta want it.
Dr. Durant, I don't want it. I don't want to use that piano. It doesn't feel anywhere near as good as this piano.
Oh, it feels good. Cool. I'm tired of climbing under shit anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and probably not ever come back to it, but anyway, it's here if you want to look at it yourself, if you want to make your own mix, or if you want to do something like this. Because the people who are interested in this kind of stuff are more mixing rock, country pop, and alt rock, I think the thing with more of the like rap music, you get a lot of beats on the internet, right? There's a ton of stuff out there. But most of the guys put their signature in all their tracks. Jamal! You can work around that, but you are stealing that man's beats, all right?
You can't make it like, if you're trying to make hip hop, you can't make it like handmade. You can't make a handmade hip hop beat from Pro Tools.
Not as easily. There are better things to do that in. Pro Tools is really a recording system, and you can buy a lot of third-party plugins that would do. There may even be some instruments on this. Let me add an instrument track.
Oh man.
Is that your keyboard?
Cork. Yep, mine broke. What did you do to it?
Do you have wires?
You know it.
Yes.
I have. You mean quarter inch?
Whatever you might need to hook this up.
My parents about to look back on.
Okay, the instruments we have are addictive keys, which are like pianos. There's Boom, a DB33, which is an organ, a mini grand, structure-free, vacuum and expand too. I'm not, let's look at Boom just briefly. And this is a beat maker. Whether this is the easiest thing to make beats in or not, it just depends. They're all kind of the same. It depends on the samples you own and what you're comfortable working with. But we do have that. So we have some basic stuff, but what I do a lot of times is import out of another program and then do all the volume work in Pro Tools. just depends on what you're comfortable doing. Sometimes for some beat-based music, it's better just to stick in the DAW that you're using, whether it's like Fruity Loop or FL Studio or Logic, or I don't even know what people are making beats on these days. Seemingly they're getting simpler, the beats.
Yeah.
I could do some beats. Simpler the better, you know. Okay, where are you coming out? You're coming out the damper pedal.
Do I need to
Let's
use mine?
let's see what you got. Do you want to do this? Now, I believe if you use a stereo patch, you could record a stereo track, but you're going to need another wire, which I could get you. But let's.
So this is mono unbalanced.
That's mono unbalanced. But you probably want to send them a stereo. I think we're gonna need to get really close to that because of my wire. Maybe you spin around like that and get your things. Okay, we've only got a couple more minutes, so let me just finish up and I'll help you. Any questions about what we did today? Any questions about your project? Do you know what you would like to do for your project, and do you have the means to do it? And if you don't, you need to ask some questions and see if I can help you. All right? It doesn't necessarily have to be recorded in this room, okay? But mainly, you kind of need to think about doing multi-track recording, track by track. I think you'll learn the most if you do that, because setting up a band or whatever, you can't really separate the tracks so much that you can do a fine amount of editing on it. So I'm not looking for something very long. I'm looking for something that has tracks of the 4 to 8 variety. Now, if you're doing something else that doesn't require that many tracks, we're going to need to do something more in another way for the piece, okay? So we need to learn some things. Real recording and real editing. Just enough to get the project done and hopefully inspire you to continue your study with it. How do you really get good at this is you just have to do it a lot, and I'm not sure I can inspire you guys to do it a lot. I'm not sure. There may not truly be any hope. That was said for my internet audience. There is no hope. Thank you all for your attendance and cooperation. Have an excellent weekend.